What I love about dividend stocks is that you get to get paid, earn income while you're still holding great companies in your portfolio. So today I'll be talking about my top 3 stocks to watch in terms of dividends for 2025. I'm really excited to share this with you because I've always been a dividend investor. Well, I've been for a while now. Usually do stocks to watch, but now I'm going to do a dividend stocks to watch. And so if you want to do what I've been doing in terms of being able to earn the 2 ways that you make money from stocks, both in capital gains and dividends, then you definitely want to check out this episode. And, let's get started.
Learning is the key to successful investing. And who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest.
All right, so as usual, welcome everyone. Let me start by doing my usual call to action, inviting you to join our free Learn, Grow, Invest community. So you can join at learngrowinvestclub.com. It's free to join. We talk about investing, talk about stocks, talk about dividends, just about everything that we cover on this channel. You can talk about it in our community. And the best part about it is that you get notified whenever we're having our meetups, which we've been having one every week for the past month. So if you've been in the community, you've been able to benefit from those meetups. For those who are in it and have missed it, then you can look out for the next one, which will likely be in a couple of days. All right. For those who have started to invest, not really sure how to, or maybe need some help to take the next step, I invite you to join our investment challenge where we have monthly sessions. We go deep into stock analysis, stock research, how to build a portfolio, how to create your investment thesis, and a lot more. So if you're interested in learning more, the link is in the bio and the description of this video. So I can talk about that some more later, of course. And of course, because I'll be sharing some stocks in this video, I have to say that anything that I discuss here is for education, entertainment, and illustrative purposes only, and should not be construed as professional financial advice, solicitation, or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that are mentioned in this video. All right. So before I start, you guys tell me, right? What's your favorite dividend stock? And if you're not investing for dividends right now, I really have to ask you why or why not, right? When we did our investment challenge in January, I mentioned there are 2 ways to make money from stocks. And our challenge for day 2 or day 3, I believe, was for you to choose how you're going to be earning income from stocks, right? So hope that since, you'd have been a part of our community for so long, you'd have joined that challenge and, you're already investing for dividends. But if not, think of this as your encouragement to do so, all right? So tell me in the chat, which one is your favorite dividend stock? I didn't say preference shares. I say a preference share. What's your favorite dividend stock? We'll talk about preference share a little later though, because in preparing for this episode, I was so tempted to switch out all of my stocks for preference shares, but that's for another time, all right? So because this is a new episode, we're going to break it down for you, for those who've never invested for dividends before. So I'll have 4 slides to explain what a dividend is for those who are completely new to it, right? So a dividend is a portion of a company's profits that's paid out to shareholders. Dividends aren't guaranteed. So a company may have the money and choose not to pay. But of course, there are some companies that pride themselves on paying dividends. These are the ones we love because these are the ones that make it, they have a commitment to giving back in more than one way, all right? And of course, the absolute best thing about dividends that I like and absolutely love about it is that you get the income without having to sell your shares. So instead of where capital gains, where you have to sell your shares to realize your profit, dividends, you're allowed to get income without having to sell your shares, right? So quick math in my head, I know I've gotten probably close to $1 million in dividends right now from Trans Jamaica since I've been holding shares in 2020. So every year for the last 4 years, I've gotten dividends, and it's been amazing. So I've been able to increase my position without selling my shares to get the income, and so it's great, right? Then of course, if you're going to be investing for dividends, it's absolutely important that you know what the dividend yield is. If you're not looking at the yield, then you're not doing it correctly. So there's supposed to be a line. The line is ever so slight. You're not seeing it here, but it's annual dividends per share being divided by price per share. And I'm going to share with you the process by which I did this calculation, because I hear some of you asking, how did you get, how do I calculate the yield? How do I get, everything together in terms of this process? So I'm going to share my Excel file with you. Please don't judge me, and we'll see, how that goes. But this is how I calculate the dividend yield. And I have to talk about preference shares just for a little bit, because as I was going through the list of dividends, there are some really attractive preference shares out there that, as I said, I'm seriously considering looking at some of these now because of the yield. And so even though they would have started out giving a particular dividend based on the price, if the price goes down, the yield actually goes up. So some of them, the yield is very attractive right now. But I have to say one thing before I show you the Excel sheet. I am not fully confident in the data that I'm getting from the JSE. And if there's anybody from Jamaica Stock Exchange watching this, please update the site. Some of the dividend payments have been duplicated. So when I am here calculating my dividend yield and I'm seeing where one stock was showing like 200%, I'm like, that's not possible, because I would have owned that stock already. Then I saw where the dividend payment was repeated. In one case, the company pays dividends in US dollars and they show it in Jamaican, and some other small issues. So I had to kind of do some research, rule out those first before I could have the ones that are on my watch list, right? So I had to get that out of the way. So let me see where, so I'm not going to share my first one yet. I'm going to share with you my Excel. I'm going to look to see if you have any questions. So Aki Events on IG says, this is excellent content. Hope it's available on your YouTube. We're always streaming to YouTube first. So no matter where else we stream to, YouTube will always be first. So Limitless Podcast is saying, how many times will I say Trans Jamaica? I've already said it once. So we should do a Trans Jamaica counter, right? Diplomat says, I know Jermaine is against one of my top picks due to his faith, but we are good, Trans Jamaica and TJH. Okay, so some of you may not know this, but I'll say it here. Not just for my faith, but just from a moral perspective, I do not invest in Carreras and Supreme Ventures Limited. So when I'm going through this video, if you're gonna ask me where are those two stocks, now you know why. All right. And Shell says she was about to go to sleep, but I guess not. It's way too early to sleep. Way too early. Shell said, when our financial advisors keep telling us it's for education and entertainment purposes. So it is for education, definitely from me. It is education, because I'm not telling you to do what I do or to watch what I watch, but that is my responsibility to say that, right? That one little statement keeps me out of trouble. Akeem, all the best to you as well. Yeah, so guys, if you have any questions, post them and I'll answer them near the end. So let's start with the Excel. Let's do that first. So I have to thank David Rose, of course, for helping me build this Excel. So it didn't help me to do the Excel, but it helped me to get the data that led me to create the Excel. So David shared this link with me, and it's all the corporate actions for 2024, right? So what I did was enter the dates December 31st all the way to well, it was supposed to be the current date. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. I hope not. And then I pulled down this PDF and brought it in Excel. So all of these are dividend payments for all the stocks on the JSE and preference shares on the JSE for 2024. So this is awesome that I was able to do this. And I brought this into Excel here. So you're seeing it, of course, it wasn't a clean input. I had to append all the sheets together, clean out the ones that I don't want, and so on. But I put everything here, and then I took all of the stock prices. The stock prices come from the Mayberry trade sheet. I've shown you guys how to do this already, so I don't need to show you again. If you don't know how to connect it, watch our video on creating an Excel stock dashboard. And then what I did was create a tracker now to have the ticker, the current price from Mayberry's trade sheet, the dividends, and then the yield, right? So I put dividends created by current price, gives you the yield, right? So that's how that works. And yeah, if you want more details on how I did this, I can probably share it in the group tomorrow, right? So I went through and highlighted some that I wanted to double check and stuff like that. All right. So hopefully that helps. So let's get started with the first one. Hold on here. I wonder, well, I think everybody should be. Okay, so what I did not do in this video is talk about the preference shares, but I will say, right? So usually when you look at the JSE and you see these numbers like 5.5, 7.15, etc., those are preference shares, and you know some of the yields for those are just kind of interesting, right? The JPS one is showing to be almost 22%. Now I haven't been able to verify the preference shares, and that's why I can't speak to them, because I wanted to verify them before I share. So this was very eye-opening for sure, right? So let's get into the watch list. So the very first one is Dolphin Cove, and I see there's someone asking me about it. So here's the thing, guys, and this is no secret, right? When the price goes down, the dividend yield actually goes up. So if I'm investing in a company for dividends, which Dolphin Cove, I am a shareholder, as at the point of this video, if the price is going down, that's a good thing for me. The price going down means the dividend yield is going up, right? And this is nowhere near my average price, so it means I'm still in profit as well. So this is the first one. In terms of how it traded today, so the price went from 17.56 to 18.40. The 52-week range is from $16 to $25, and you can believe me when I say I was able to take some profit. So I'm happy with that as well. And when the price went down, I was able to increase my position as well for when the dividends are coming again. Limitless is asking, what is the price going down because the business generating less cash or profit? So here's the thing, they were impacted by Beryl. So if you look at their last report, it actually, the numbers went down a little bit, right? And they actually haven't announced, oh, I see what you're saying. So what if the price is going down because the business generating less cash? So in a business like Dolphin Cove, and I'll explain this. So in our market, you have this thing, right? This thing called the hurricane season. So there are businesses that are impacted greatly because we live on an island. So hurricane season is a real thing. So a company like Dolphin Cove will be impacted by hurricane season. And so that quarter was not good for them, right? They had to be closed, then they had to recover, and so on. So to me, that's okay, right? I'm estimating even if they have one bad quarter each year and I'm able to get dividends for 3 quarters out of the year, I'd still be happy with that yield, especially if persons want to bring the price all the way down. That would be even better for the yield, right? Because the price doesn't impact the company's profitability. So of course it's going to be on my watch list because the price was going down. Now, if it didn't, if early in the year it was at about $23, $24, it would not have been as attractive as it is right now in terms of yield, because it's the highest one, and you'll see that in a minute based on the ones that I'm watching. So it's being done in that order, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So market cap 7.1 billion, shares outstanding 392 million. That's also something that I look at as well, right? Because when they pay dividends, the number of shares outstanding is actually something that I look at very closely as well. Because the fewer shares, the more attractive the dividend, right? Because if they had 1 million shares, the amount of dividends they would have been able to pay would not have been the same. Right, so I hope all of this is making sense to those who might not have thought about it that way. All right. So in terms of the dividends they've paid $1.20. Did I update these? Yes. So for 2024, they paid one in March, they paid one in June. They did not pay one in September because of Beryl. And so of course, that is something to watch based on what Limitless was saying and based on what I'm saying as well. So the yield as at the current price, or the price as at when I did it earlier, is 6.38%. That is attractive for me, especially since interest rates are continuing to go down, right? So, and I spoke to you guys about how the yield is calculated already. So that's my first one. Let me see what you guys are saying about it. So, so Humble Boss saying, I love Dolphin Cove dividends. Cashway said the price going down seems good if you're still buying. Well, exactly, right? I think investors need to get over the fact that they don't want to see the price of the stocks they own go down. Because if you've done your research, if it's solid in terms of the type of company, the price going down is not a bad thing, right? Claudine is asking for more detail on creating the Excel sheets and calculations. It may be something that I share in the, should I share it in the challenge? I think I shared it in our challenge already. So that's okay. All right. So Diplomat is saying, what inputs do you have on Banks of Jamaica policy rate cut, seeing that the Fed in the US cut theirs by? So I don't know. I'm not trying to. So here's the thing with that. My investing in dividends is a hedge against what may happen in the economy. I don't know, right? So that's why it makes sense for me to invest for dividends as well. So Chike, you're the one who put me onto Dolphin Cove, and I hope you remember that. So Chike, I think back from 2020, 2021, mentioned Dolphin Cove to me, and I've been looking at it for a while since he mentioned it, and thanks for that. Right? Yeah, I took notice. I took notice when he spoke. All right. So that's the first one, guys. Can you tell me, or can anyone guess what the next two are? Let me know in the comments. Just like with the stocks to watch, if you can guess the next two, then I will give a bonus, right? So 2 more stocks to go. Let me know which two I'm gonna say. I'll pause for like 2 minutes and allow you guys to type, and then I'll continue, right? So Fabi is asking what I think of Salada Foods. I think it's an interesting company. I'm not sure yet how I feel about them, meaning I attended their AGM, really like the direction that they're going, but I'm just not sure yet, meaning I'm still analyzing. But whenever their reports come out, I'm looking at it, I'm paying attention to what they're doing. I just have not made an assessment as yet, right? No, Orville. So here's the thing. I can give you some Trans Jamaica shares as prize. We have to buy them from me at $20, right? So let me know if that works. All right. So I think everybody knows Trans Jamaica is one of them already, right? Or I guess you guys are assuming anyway. So stock number 2 is actually Burrito. And this was surprising for me. And let me show you on the sheet here, right? Because the dividend that they paid for 2024 is $3.60, right? So that put them at almost 5%, which was very good to see, right? So Burrito is pick number 2. Now, I'm not a shareholder of Burrito, but the yield was very interesting. And so I did remember they were featured on Taking Stock recently, having had a great quarter, I believe, which bodes well for a company that I'm looking at in terms of dividends. I have not done the research as to their financials as yet, so I'd have that research to do, because this watch list is solely based on yield. So the price range today is from $74 to $74.70. The 52-week range, though, and that's quite a spread, right? $55 to $81. So if you purchase at 55, you're up about 60%, almost 60% right now. So that'd be amazing, right? $91 billion in market cap, but you know the number of shares outstanding, 1.2 billion. So it hasn't grown in terms of stock price year to date. Week to date only up 1%, and so on. So it doesn't, I mean, it's one of those that has, I kind of group it in terms of the financial sector stocks. So I'm assuming that it's going to perform similar to those, because it had its major run up a few years ago, well before the pandemic. All right. So this is what they've paid this year. They paid one in February and they paid one just in October. So $3.60 is a very, very compelling. It's a very compelling dividend to me, right? So the price is at today, and the yield is calculated based on the current price, right? So of course, if your price is lower, the yield is going to be more attractive for you. But this yield, I think, again, if the price should actually go lower, the yield would go higher. So a lower price would actually put this above 5% or close to 5%, which is kind of my threshold, right? I'm not a fan of anything lower than 5%. All right. So what are your thoughts on Burrito? Nobody guessed Burrito, right? So Everard, Epley was a runner-up for me, right? I looked at them. I know David has mentioned them in the past. So Epley was a runner-up for me for sure. And I didn't look at GK. Let me check GK's yield. GK's yield is 2%. So for those of you mentioning GK, it's 2%. Guys, I can't. 2% is too low for me right now. The lowest I'd be willing to go is 4.5%. All right. So I could not verify Cygnus's. Cygnus was a run-up for me as well, but I couldn't verify their data, Chike, because I don't think. So it's showing Cygnus as 7% for the USD here, but I'm not sure that that's accurate. So I'd have to verify that. But the JMD one they're showing as 0.2%, which I don't think is correct because I think this is a US dollar payment. So that was the issue that I was saying that I had with this data, because I didn't have time to verify all of them. So so I am planning to do some manual calculations, but of course, that's why my call was for that to be fixed, because that impacts the calculation, because I can't check every single dividend paying stock. That would be impossible for me, right? So I have one more pick to go, and I'm going to go through the chat and see what everybody is saying. Lance Cameron says NCBFG, SJ, CCC, Wigton, Trans-Jamaica, Carreras, and Seprod. The yield for NCB is not attractive as yet. Seprod, not attractive as yet. Wigton, to me, is not a dividend-paying stock. So GK said no, it's a Trans-Jamaica. Lance says, I have an Excel sheet with last dividend-based ranking. Well, you probably need to update your sheet, Lance. Okay, so let me talk about this for a second, right? Because so remember, that yield that you're seeing, Humble Boss, is still based on price. So I know the idea is this, where you may want to buy a lower price stock, but when you're investing for dividends, yield is what I'm looking at first. Now the price will matter, because in the sense that the lower the price, the more shares I can buy, but I'm still going to get 4.83% on whatever I buy, even at the current price of $74. So that's why the yield is so important, right? That's a great decision. I would have done the same thing, right? GK, what's the issue with Trans-Jamaica? Be an outlier and don't say Trans-Jamaica. Okay. I don't know why you have such an issue with Trans-Jamaica. The real, I can't pronounce the rest of the name, is saying Grace and 138 Student Living. Did I check 138 Student Living's yield? I think they only paid one dividend, and I don't think they've paid one this year. So they're not on the list, actually, because I'm doing it based on who paid dividends in 2024, because if you haven't paid in 2024, I can't assume that you're going to pay in 2025, right? So yeah. So my final one is so Natural Beauty. I'll recap, right? I'll recap for you for sure. All right. So Jamaica broilers, guys, I'm gonna show you all the yields one more time, right? Let me do this. So let me share my screen again. So okay, Jamaica broilers, their yield is under 2%. Carib Cement, their yield is 2.5%. Mail Pack actually is 1.13%. So who else? I think someone mentioned NCB. They're just at 3%. Now I do think that NCB, with their increase in profitability, can pay a special dividend, and I actually recommend that they should, because if they do that, so Chike, I can't do it by ascending amount because of how I put the list together. The list will break, so I can't sort it that way, unfortunately. So this figure for Proven is not correct. This amount, so Proven has two stocks, a USD and a JMD, and what JC did is combine them. So it's not correct. I got excited too. It's not correct, right? Now, the PBS preference share was interesting, but I wasn't sure if it's how it traded. So I want to buy a good volume for dividend stocks, right? So usually for my dividend stocks, I'm trying to hold considerable volume. So I'm not sure if it would be liquid enough for me to be able to sell it back, right? Let me tell you, I did think about L.A.R.N as well, but this is incorrect that they didn't pay this much. I think they paid half of this. So the yield would have been cut in half. I don't think the Kingston Properties one is correct. So the data is flawed, guys. So I had to do some research for the ones that I trust were accurate and start from there. But there was no way I had time to research all of these companies in a week, all right? I did think about looking at, let me see what other one that made the runner-up here. I think that's it, right? So yeah, my final one, let me check IG quickly for any questions. Okay, I think you guys are good. So guys, after I share my last one, I'll have about 10 minutes for questions because I want to keep this video short, right? And so let's share the last one. The last one is Trans Jamaica, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Chike. I hear Chike just doing a face palm right now, but I had to because of how much the price kept going down. So Trans Jamaica was $4.98 2 weeks ago, right? It was $4.98 2 weeks ago. Almost dropped, right? 20%, almost. I cannot ignore that. I cannot ignore that, right? I know you guys are like, duh, but it's really hard. So I already own shares. The price is going down. I'm getting to buy more shares at a lower price. It's gonna be hard to say no to that, right? So it's down 15% from the start of the month, right? I couldn't ignore that, right? So today's range for 402 to 444. So that 402 again would have made the yield even higher, right? 52-week range 253 to 498. That's almost 100%, right? And then market cap 51 billion. And so the dividends are paid this year. So this is a 4.61 dividend yield. And if the price goes below $4 and that yield goes close to 5%, I cannot think of a better stock to give you dividends and potential capital gains. I can't, I couldn't, Chike. So you understand. I know you understand, right? But as I said, runner-ups would have been a play. I'm also looking at potentially some preference shares as kind of a potential kind of option here, because again, what I'm interested in is the volume, the amount of shares that I'm able to buy at any one time, the ability to resell those shares, right? Because not enough to get volume. What my concern is with the preference shares is that I may not be able to sell them when I'm ready. That is a legitimate concern, right? I'm not buying small volume for them when I'm buying. So I don't want to buy 100,000 shares of a preference share and get stuck trying to sell it and the price keeps going down and I can't sell, right? And I want to also know that if I can't sell a stock, I'm comfortable holding it. And all three that I just mentioned, if I couldn't sell them for the next 2-3 years, I think I'd be happy just the same, right? Because even though Barita, I think over the last 2 to 3 years, have actually been inching down, what I'm looking at is the fact that I'm expecting that their future is going to be better than the last couple of years, all right? So I'm here to take any questions if you guys have any, or I can wrap this video up now. Trans Jamaica at $5 is still considered undervalued. I wonder if persons actually realize this. Well, this is not a Trans Jamaica episode, so I won't get into that. Roshane say, I'm praying it goes below $4 to buy more. I don't subscribe to that, right? If you like it, identify a price and just go for it, because you never know. You may be waiting for 4 and it stops where it is and goes in the opposite direction, and then you wish that you'd have bought. So if it is that you're looking to buy, I wouldn't worry about the dollars and cents, right? Based on what you're buying for. In this case, from a dividend perspective, the yield was calculated based on the current price. All right, so let me see what's happening over IG. So Jay Licia said that, how do you recommend tracking gains if you trade on the JSE since it does not show gain loss? So what I've done, and I'll show you guys a preview of this. I'm not ready to show it yet, but I'm building a portfolio tracker to demo and an updated one. So I'll show you what that looks like briefly. And then Car Barton is asking, how do you know when to sell shares? Car Barton, the best way to answer that is to join the investment challenge. I can give you a more comprehensive answer. So Spence is saying, what about Cygnus? Could be considered to, seeing that dividends aren't taxed. So yeah, for sure. Cygnus, I just wasn't able to verify their dividend in time for this episode. But I do think that when I saw the price going down sometime last year and even earlier this year, I did think that it was interesting. So yeah. So let me see if I can find the file, by the way, because I did a portfolio tracker. And let me see if this can help you, Jay Alyssa. So I did this last year. Let me see if I can update it first before I share it. So I'm gonna, guys, I'm gonna show you an early preview. Please don't ask me when I'm gonna do this video, because I'm not sure when I'll be able to do it. So I'm gonna share my screen and you'll be able to see it. So this is a portfolio tracker I've been working on. So this is supposed to be the dashboard which shows the stocks in your portfolio. It shows a pie chart of everything. This is where you're able to enter your transactions in terms of buying and selling, right? So buys and then sell. So the sell is supposed to deduct from the amounts that you have. Of course, the Mayberry trade sheet is here for us to bring in the prices. And then the portfolio is supposed to give you a breakdown of gain, loss, cost, price, etc. So this is what I've been working on. I'm not ready to show it yet, but this is something that, you know, I think I'll be able to demo at some point, but you should be able to just come in and update this every day. And yeah, that should, hopefully that's what you're looking for, Jelly. So let me know. Let me see the questions here. So Andrew Tate first, thoughts on Fesco. So Fesco, I think, is growing at a very good rate. They had paused their dividends because they're investing in their growth. So they would not have made this list because they don't have an attractive yield for dividends currently. And the truth is, you'll notice, well, Dolphin Cove is junior market, but Barita and Trans Jamaica are main market companies, right? So it's not likely that you're going to see a junior market company make a watch list for me unless they pay a really good dividend. So what companies do you feel would be affected if Jamaica was to change from green to orange? I'm not sure. I'll cross that bridge if we should get there. I'll think about that if we should get there. Chike, you need to be in a community group. That's what you should do, right? So Jovan said this is actually good. Yeah, I just remembered it last night when I was preparing for this episode. So I hear there will be a recession in 2025, just like in 2020, just like in 2022, just like in 2024. You don't know, all right? So I don't plan for a recession. So Jovan, just watch the last one we did on the Excel tracker. That should be able to help you. And do I think there's any more growth for Fontana? So here's the thing. My concern with Fontana, no, I was a shareholder. I'm no longer anymore. And that's because since they're listed, I think they're going in the opposite direction, right? Meaning they're adding more brick and mortar stores. That's going to increase costs. That's going to increase admin expenses. And I don't think, I mean, it's more growth, probably marginal growth. I don't know, right? Because of their business model, they have a lot of overheads. So that's my concern, right? And with the increase of online shopping, I'm not sure how much they can grow or at the pace at which they can grow, right? So that's my only concern. That's why I sold, because I just was not convinced that they'll be able to grow at the rate that I'd be comfortable with. I may be wrong, but only the future can tell, right? Time in the market, not time in the market for sure. So 3 dividend stocks, 3 capital gain stocks, so 5 stocks in total. Well, 3 and 3 wouldn't be 5, but the one overlap. No, so right now I think I have 4 stocks in my portfolio. My wife has 2. We share a portfolio, so that's 6. My son has 1 stock in his portfolio. So I guess you'd say I have 7 stocks, even though my son's stock, he's 4 years old, so that's mine until he's 18. But yeah, I agree with you, Akeem. If PriceSmart was on the JSE, that'll probably be in my portfolio as well. All right. I'm assuming you're talking about Fontana here. So I'd just like to see them invest more in e-commerce. I'd like to see them have an e-commerce platform, grow that platform, focus on deliveries, focus on maybe putting some locations that are maybe a little bit smaller in scale, focusing on some niche products and services. That's what I would want to see from them, all right? On IG, Jano. So what are the best stock to purchase right now? You should watch our stocks to watch. That's the best I can say. It's a watch list, not a buy list. But you can check out that episode. And Jalicia is asking, are all the dividends taxed, as I have tax removed from mine multiple times? It depends. Some of them have the tax already taken out, but usually there is some GCT, I think, on 99% of them. All right, guys, so let me do a recap for those who have joined us late. So my 3 dividend stocks to watch: Dolphin Cove. Price has been going down. It's extremely attractive to me. It has the highest yield. Barita Investments Limited, their yield is 4.83% at current prices. So I'm assuming they're going to be paying the same dividend next year. And then we have Trans Jamaica, which was no surprise to everybody. And so those are the 3. And let me see, thoughts on, so Carib Cement has the same concern I have with Dolphin Cove, that I have with Spur Tree, that I have with, let me see who else. So at least 1 quarter for the year for Carib Cement, rain impacts them, or they may have maintenance. That's a great concern for me, right? What do I think if a patty brand was to come to market? Imagine owning Tasty. No thanks. No thanks. Is it possible that CPG going to be delisted? It's possible, but we don't know, right? I think David spoke about it on Taking Stock yesterday. So check that out. I'm not sure. I'm not a shareholder at this time. I'm not tracking it. Okay. That's a different conversation. What about KW? KW is one of my top stocks to watch for 2025. So you should check out that episode. They're on my watch list for sure. I'm hoping to interview the CEO any day now. So I just need to, he gave me his number. I need to reach out to him and set up the interview. So thanks for reminding me. I did not remember. So thoughts on tropical batteries. Tropical batteries, I think they should have a good year next year. So they're going to be raising funds in January. And I think once they bring down their finance costs, profits should go up significantly. They will be issuing more shares in terms of their APO. So I just need to do some math to see what it will look like in terms of like how much they'll be raising, what the shares outstanding will look like, what the potential dividend would look like, because they've been increasing their dividend every year, right? 1 cent, 2 cent, 4 cent. So if they pay an 8-cent dividend at the current price, I don't remember what yield that would put them at, but they're not within a yield that I'd be interested in right now. All right, where do I see the select funds now? Select M, I think it's a great opportunity. Select M because the manufacturing sector is doing well. Select F on the other hand, no thanks. Tropical and lithium. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Why can't Trans Jamaica and Fesco partner? Well, Trans Jamaica is doing a Rubis gas station, so I don't know. It's not an APO, it's a secondary offering. Tropical, thanks for the correction. We need an upcoming APO discussion. Okay, I'll have it in the community group. So persons who are interested in that, just let me know and we can talk about it there. All right. Okay, I get you. Chike, are you in the community group? I feel like you're not there. So please, I'm gonna share the link for the community group in the chat. For those on IG, check out the link in our bio. Okay, Christopher, you're probably late, but we've been a community for a while now. We've made it known multiple times for faith and moral reasons. We don't invest in Carreras or Supreme Ventures. It's something that it's non-negotiable for us. Not even an option. We don't look at the price. We don't look at the reports. We don't look at the news, and it's just not there. It's not an option for us. Now this would be interesting. I think Tropical and Wigton partnership. That would be interesting for sure. It's not. It's not gonna be. It's never gonna be an option unless they change what they do, right? Okay. So welcome. Your name looks familiar to me, Christopher. Are you in tech? I feel like I know that name, right? So what's the community group? How can you find it? All right, so we're pretty much done now, right? So let me share this slide. So welcome, Christopher. So our community is where we meet. We have impromptu meetups. So last Friday, I think I did a meetup at 6 p.m. So the benefit of joining this community that we have, it has an app that you can pretty much be a part of it anytime, no matter where you are. You can sign in from the desktop as well. We have different groups. So we have the challenge community, which is a private group. That's a paid membership where we have our monthly calls there. Then you have the general community, which everybody is welcome to, that we just have general conversations, persons ask questions, we'll have our meetups and so on. So everybody is welcome to join. We have about 300 plus members now, and what we will stop doing is starting January 1st, 2025, we're going to close access to Telegram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So if you're in those groups already, we're not going to remove you, but we're going to remove the link for persons to join. And we're only going to be focusing on the new community. So for those of you on Telegram right now, not in the new community group, you may want to head over there, because I'm not going to be posting in Telegram after January 1st. So all of my focus will be on the new community. All right. All right, Christopher, looking forward to seeing you there. Be sure to say hi when you join. And well, there you go. I didn't even know what they did originally, honestly. So thanks for saying that. Unit trust gains are not taxed. Must see. What is a unit trust average rate of return? That is what I'll ask you. And you can tell me how that compares to a dividend stock, right? So yeah, you tell me. You tell me. All right, guys, I don't know if this is going to be my last stream yet for 2024. It depends on my wife. So it depends really. And I want to thank you guys for all your support over the last couple of weeks and your understanding. You're seeing that photo right behind me here. That's a photo of my mother-in-law who passed away a little bit over a month now. So we were able to celebrate her life last week. It was different, right? So it feels now like she's a part of every stream that I do, which is actually a cool thing. So she's right over my shoulder every time I go live now. I think that's a great way for me to celebrate her as well. And so I want to thank everybody who again sent their condolences, persons who joined the stream for the funeral, persons who were at the funeral. I saw some community members there. Really, really thank you guys for that. It meant a lot to us. And exactly, Orville, she's watching my back, right? So she's making sure that I'm always, saying the right thing. And I mean, if you knew her, she was a great, great listener. So I'm sure she can just listen to me talk all day, every day. So Cygnus is over 7%, but my average, ooh, okay. Marva, thanks for that. I'll check that out, right? So I'll check that out for sure. Thanks, Leon. I mean, it's a part of life, and this is where I'm grateful that, she knew the Lord, she was saved. And so that's why we can celebrate her life, because we know where she's going, right? She's keeping an eye on my portfolio. Exactly right. So here's the thing, and it's so interesting. She became a Trans Jamaica shareholder earlier this year. And so those shares were, of course, gifted to Renee. And so we were able to inherit some Trans Jamaica shares as well, which was quite interesting. So she was an investor as well, and that's again just another cool thing to think about. Thanks, Christopher. Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm gonna end the stream here. I may go live in the community because I feel like talking for a little bit more. So I'm gonna jump over to the community. So I'm gonna share the link. Join me there for a few minutes. I don't know if Renee is watching this stream. I'm probably like, I can't believe Jermaine's going live. But check out that link. Join the community. I'll just talk for a couple of minutes in case there are any other questions I can answer. I hope to see you all there. If I don't do another live, I wish you all the best for 2024, for the remainder of 2024, and all the best for 2025. And I look forward to seeing all of you at a monthly meeting. And, just thank you for being a part of our community. All right. Jams, it's been helpful to me as well, honestly. Keeping me sane, I'd say, because if I'm able to focus on serving you, serving the community, helping you with my time, with my effort, it helps me to process the grief, right? So Wasn't easy, but being a part of this community helped. All right. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you again soon.
Learning is the key to successful investing. And who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing. And who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest.